Okay, so this is Vince Meza with Listings to Leads, and we're today doing a rollout call on the Listings to Leads platform for the King and Society office. So I don't think you've logged in before, so we're going to kind of give you a high level of the two major spheres of our system. We have a lot of tools that are automatically generated. We send those tools to you. We auto post some things, and I want you to sort of understand what those tools look like, how you get them, what to do with them. And then we have another half of the platform that has to do with landing pages. And landing pages are great to use in tandem with postcard marketing, print mail kind of stuff, but also with things like Facebook, pay-per-click advertising, Google advertising. And we're just getting more and more ways of using landing pages. And those have been pretty exciting. So I'm going to log in here, and all of you will have an ID and password. When you get that, don't go over here and create yourself a little 14-day free trial, because you'll just sort of throw a wrench in the works. We've got everything kind of set up for you. So up at the top right is a login button. And hopefully I can remember the little test account that I set up here. Yeah. And so when you log in, you're going to see this. You're going to see this kind of page here. And the right here is kind of an area that I want you to be familiar with. Usually you can click right to the left or right, it'll close it. But there are some recorded trainings here. There's also our live call. So we do a live call every Monday on the core tools, which I will explain to you what core tools are. And then we also do a live call on Tuesday on Facebook advertising. And that's a pretty exciting piece or place to be advertising. I don't know if you're familiar with that, or if you think it's oversaturated or whatever, but we're having great results across the country, and I'm going to show you how to achieve that. Right here is a call with Neil Wolf, who does something with one of our tools out there in the using Facebook advertising, but he also uses our tools on Craigslist and gets a lot of leads. He's in our mastermind group right now, telling everybody he kind of took a break from us, but now he's back, and he's targeting hundreds of leads every month, and that's really what we want people to be able to achieve. So there's a lot of stuff always here. We put new tools in here almost every 2 weeks. So in order to sort of be keep abreast of that, just scanning this page here is going to help you. This is the home page once you log in. Getting started, you might want to look at this. This is going to tell you, and I'm going to walk you through it, but you'll forget a little bit of what I say here. This is a place where you want to set up your profile and set up the automation so that the system starts working for you. This page here, Facebook advertising, I'm going to click on it because, as I said, it is a pretty exciting part of real estate marketing right now. And right here in number 2, this item number 2, you can click here and watch a video on how to actually run an ad. We're going to run an ad on Facebook together here in a few minutes. Then you'll see some recorded webinars of people who are having a ton of success. Here's a webinar on landing pages. Here's a little recording here on landing pages. And that's really the piece that you want to be understanding. How do I get a landing page? How do I customize it? And how do I get it out on Facebook? All of that is right here on this one page under this Facebook advertising. We've got a really nice open house marketing platform. You can click on this button here, and all the information on that is in here. And basically, when you put an open house in, we give you a whole stack of tools to market, right? And I don't know if you can see it right here, but there's just, there's print flyers, there's ads for Facebook, there's stuff for social media, and you just have a lot of tools that you can use to market an open house. Once you see our tools, you'll understand why we are so heavy into marketing and why we want to create a bunch of tools, because every tool is designed to capture a lead. When you get into this account, there's this blue button here. It says click to join the mastermind group, and then this is online tutorials. So that's, obviously online tutorials is what it is. Click that blue button and that will take you to our mastermind group. And a lot of our clients are sharing information on what's working. They're actually saying, hey, here's how I'm writing an ad. This is what I'm doing with my tool over here. And when it's your first time, over on the right side, there'll be a button that says join this group. So join the group, and then either my partner Scott or I will accept you in the group. And then you can just sort of scan down, and you're going to see, again, as I mentioned earlier, we probably release one new tool every 2 weeks. almost throughout the year. We just are always adding stuff. So in order to see that, the first place we talk about that is right here in this mastermind group. So I definitely want to invite you all to join that and check us out every, try to log in once a week and just have a look and see what's happening. So as I said, I'm clicking on the listings tabs now, and I just created this kind of fake little demo account in your account to show you kind of what's going to happen. Now for you, because we have kind of a connection with List Hub, so your listing goes into the MLS, and if you have an active listing, it will sweep in. But let's imagine that you don't have a listing and that you want to put a listing in here. You can use a create new listing, right? And maybe you're going to work with a FSBO or something and pull one in, and that's great. Or maybe you're going to market a listing for somebody else, right? One of your colleagues is saying, hey, I've got an open house. Would you sit on that open house and generate some, you find some buyers? That's great, right? Because I'm swamped. Here's how you can there's a button in your account that says grab active listing. So I'm going to click that button now. And this shows me the two fields that I need to grab that listing. And I'm going to go up here. This listing is on Trulia. What we need is the MLS ID. And I'm just grabbing a random listing, and the zip code is 29466. Okay. So I'm going to drop that in there, and I'm going to say 29466 and click grab. And what our system does is it reaches out on Trulia and it grabs the information, it grabs the photos, puts everything in there, and then you've got a whole stack of tools to market it. And that's what I wanted. That's why I'm taking you through this. This is not something that everybody's going to do, but when you kind of face that time and you want to do it, it's a really easy kind of tool to use. And it takes about a half a minute, so I'll fill the time with a little chatter here. The first place it drops you is it's something that says choose your right lead generation links. Now, I'm going to show you what lead generation links are, but what they are is they are direct links to your website, right? And I notice on this website, there's community searches for like Somerville, right? You may have your own website or you're using the office website. And this shows the homes that are for sale in that area. So that might be really useful, right? It's still doing the importing here. So I'm going to click back because I think that one is in Mount Pleasant. And you actually have a Mount Pleasant link here too. So that's going to be kind of a relevant link there. So I'm going to copy that URL. And this is something I'm going to do this once or twice so you're familiar with it. So it's saying right here, add more links. And since I know the home is in Mount Pleasant, I just copy the Mount Pleasant link from your site. And I'm going to create a link that says Mount Pleasant homes for sale. And this is, you'll see it in just a second why this is relevant. When people look at your listings, not everybody wants to buy that home. The first place it takes you is the virtual tour, but we'll kind of jump out of it here and we'll look at the dashboard. So now you see I've got a bunch of tools here. I've got my address here. If I click on this address, a little page pops up. There's a bunch of just listed marketing tools here. Facebook ad, e-flyer, print flyer, virtual tour. All this is just automatically generated, okay? There's also a little checklist. If you want to use this, you can print this. A lot of people use this checklist in listing presentations to show like, hey, here's everything I do when I get your listing. But I want to point out, I'm going to click on the button here. And what you should know is some people feel like I want an open house, I want a single property website, virtual tour, and I want all these things. I'm just going to click all these buttons underneath here. And what I want you to know is that actually doesn't do anything. That's just a placeholder to remind you that you've done something. So I want to click on the actual button that says single property website. It's a red button with a white house. And this is my, this is the single property website. It's going to have, now it says here Vincent Agent, right? And I didn't put my photograph in there, but your photograph will be there. Your logo will be up here. And we should have more links, and I misspelled this, but you see the Mount Pleasant homes for sale. Again, it pushes me right to your site. So here's one thing, when people look at an ad, I think Realtor.com and NAR used to say that 1 out of 400 people that see your home online want that very particular home, right? 1 out of 400. So if they've taken the time to click on it, we got to make some assumptions that they were, one, interested in property, and two, they may, maybe they don't want this one, but maybe I have others, right? So I'm going to click on the home page and I'm going to show you what you do, and then we'll leave this because this is a little bit of the boring stuff. You can just click on search the MLS here, home search, or just copy this link and just say, okay, I want to click on this button here and I want to maximize the links on my ads. I want to say King and Society. I want to say Mount Pleasant Homes under 500K, right? Something that will get people to use it, right? Or to click. And that's really the key, because in the click, they'll go to your site and you're kind of good to go there. So I'm going to save and close. Now those links are in all of these tools. The single property website is automatically emailed to you. The virtual tour is automatically emailed to you. As I mentioned earlier, there's a bunch of tools under this link over here. We will auto post to WordPress for you. We will auto post your listing to YouTube for you and to WordPress. There is a series of e-flyers for every home, from a seller engagement email to just listed to virtual tour, open house, things like that, and a corresponding Facebook campaign. And then there's a cool listing landing page, and there's a way to get to Craigslist, and there's even more blog tools if you want. So that's kind of the automated stuff. I am going to dive into this, but I want to kind of jump into the other side, which is the landing page section, because I think that's the place where people see a lot of results. And if you don't have a lot of listings, or let's say you have 1 or 2, and you want to grow your business by getting more listings, a lot of people come to us for this section right here. So I want to kind of divert us from here, looking at our core listing, and let's talk about how to grow the business, even if you have listings or if you need more. First, you go up to the landing page section up here. And what we have is a series of landing pages. So the first time you log in, it's going to be just like this, okay? And if you click under, if you click in like what is your home worth, or let's say the FSBO one over here, there's nothing here. Okay, now you could just click at the city and save it, but I'm going to go back to the listing dashboard, and I'm going to show you that there are some other landing pages. Property valuation +1, plus we have things for growing families, we have things for homes sold nearby, and we have things for empty nesters, right? So using landing pages, there's a few different ways. I mentioned it earlier. Combine it with a print strategy. Use it. I think one of the most important things is using it in Facebook pay-per-click advertising. So let's talk about how to get the landing page we want. Each of you are building your business in more than one area, right? Probably 3 or 4 towns, or 1 or 2 subdivisions or neighborhoods, right? So for me, because I did pull that one listing in Mount Pleasant, I'm just going to kind of, follow that path and say, I'm building my business in Mount Pleasant. So all I got to do is spell it correctly in this box here under number 2 and click save. And when I do this, we got to give the thing a half a second, because it's going to create a Mount Pleasant page under every one of these buttons. Okay. And then you can start to decide, well, what do I want to do with those pages now that they're created? There's a little message here that says your series has been created. So let's click on the FSBO and let's just look at what that looks like. So the FSBO, it will have your banner up here, and for some reason it's not showing here, but this is kind of the landing page. So it'll have your office banner. And this is kind of a squeeze page to help people, hey, you're selling your home. Let's get, let me help you do that. And the reason you want to work with FSBOs is because I think it's like 90% of them will hand it off in 2 to 3 months. So if you're helping with the marketing, they're going to feel like, hey, I know this person, they're doing some great stuff for me. Ideally, you can turn that into a listing. We've got a page here for expireds. I know everybody knows you need to call expireds, but you might just want to send them a landing page, and it has a few basic questions. And as I mentioned, there are all these landing pages. I'm going to concentrate on this one here. It's called Property Valuation Plus. And I will point out that there's property valuation. This gives, it asks for an address. Then it asks for an email on the second page. Then it gives them a thank you and an auto response from you, and it gives you a lead in an email. Property valuation 1 means it asks for the email and the address on one page, so they can't get beyond the first page. Some people like this if they feel like I get fewer leads, but every lead I get has an email. Other people feel like, no, I want more leads because I have other ways of getting that information to find out who the homeowner is. So that's why I always recommend Property Valuation Plus. So let's look at that, and let's look at what that, I clicked on it, and there's a couple things here. It says see landing page and edit landing page. Okay, so let's see it first and just have a look at what it looks like. It's kind of a generic background. I haven't been to Mount Pleasant. I don't know if this looks like it. So we'll attack that question in a minute. I just want you to see how this page works. What happens is somebody should put in their address, right? And I'm going to put in my my address, so Hester Road, Lafayette. This is the only real home address I know. And what it does is it shows you where the home is, right? That's my house over there on the right. I don't know if you can see this, but I just got a partial lead pop up in my email from Listings to Leads because with my landing page, I got an address, okay? So that's the first kind of lead. You get an address, right? And what this page does is says, here's a picture of your home. And over on the left, please verify the information. Is it a 3.2, 1950 square feet? It is. Great. Then click here to kind of agree with that. And we do that for buy-in, right? We want the consumer to feel like, hey, this person kind of knows what they're talking about. That's my house, right? So I'm going to type in here my information. It says, why are you interested? Well, I need to sell soon, right? And you click the report. And at this point, it gives you an estimate, okay? And at that point, you, the agent, also has that same number with the contact information. So the consumer does not see this estimate until, and I don't know if you can see it over here, I've got another lead popping up. It's actually the auto response from me, the agent, saying, hey, if you need to sell soon, maybe we should spend a few minutes together and talk about that, right? But that's kind of the point of how this page works. Your contact information is at the bottom, stuff like that, okay? So since we have a page like this now, we got to customize it, okay? The one thing you don't want to do, again, if the neighborhood looks like this in Mount Pleasant, awesome. So Keith, are there any kind of like landmarks or important places in Mount Pleasant that anybody would know? If I lived there, I would know. Boone Hall. Yep. Yep. Great. So sometimes I just go real fast, and so you may not know what I'm doing. I just did a search in Google for Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, Boone Hall Plantation. And underneath it, I'm going to click images. And this shows me, Boone Hall. So this is pretty good. So we're just going to go with this. It may be something better. I'm going to show you, I set up an office up here in the New Jersey area, and I want to show you the kind of background picture they used. And they have a number of offices. So I set up, a few offices, and they started doing this, following what the instruction I'm showing you, and they used all kinds of pictures. And they ended up telling me, they called me and said, Vince, we're getting a bunch of leads, but this picture is the picture that gets the most leads, okay? And that's because this old restaurant, it's like a converted railroad car, right? It's on Main Street in this town of 30, 40,000 people in New Jersey. And if you live there, you know this because it's been there. So what it does is it makes people comfortable with what's going on, right? Of, hey, okay, this person must be in my neighborhood, and because this is like key to us. So the reason why I pointed out is we're going to assume that this is the picture that's going to work. It may not be right. You may have better things, but let's just go with it. So we've got our pictures. We're on images. you need to then click Search Tools. It opens up a little kind of sub thing here, and go to larger than 4 megapixels. So this means it's a large enough photo to fit in the background. Then you need to click on Usage Rights, and you need to click on Labeled for Reuse. This way you can use the photo and nobody is going to come and harass you about, what do you call it, copyright stuff, right? Yeah, because you don't want that conversation. You're using somebody else's photograph, things like that. So this is a cool one. I'm just going to do this one because I hadn't seen this one before. Click on View Image. And again, I move quickly. I clicked on the photo. Over here on the right, it says View Image. And here's the image. So I'm going to save this image on my desktop. And I'm going to call that one Windermere. And I'm going to go here. And remember, in case you don't know, I'm going to click on the landing page dashboard. We're working in Property Valuation Plus. Instead of seeing it, we're going to click Edit. And there's a section that says Upload Background Image, Landing Page Image. Choose that file, hit Desktop, hit the picture that you're looking for, and at this point you should be able to save it. So I'm going to save it. And there's a lot of stuff on this page. Now, I don't know how techie all of you are, but there's a lot of stuff for really advanced people. But I kind of show you the basics that get leads, okay? So you can certainly get buried in all kinds of, nonsense down here and do all kinds of fun stuff and tricky stuff. But what I'm showing you is what you need to do to get results. And you can go beyond that when you sort of figure it out. The one line I like to change is down here. It says landing page text customization. This is the text. What is your Mount Pleasant home worth now? You could change that to condo if you want, Mount Pleasant condo, right? Or something like that. Or what is your lot, right? Or whatever you want. Then it says get your answer here. I like to change get your answer here to get your answer in less than 15 seconds. And I'm going to make that change. And at that point, I can go to this page and just refresh it. And it will give me the new look of my page. What is your Mount Pleasant home worth now? Get your answer in less than 15 seconds. So we're ready. You now kind of know how this page works. We're ready to run an ad on Facebook. So let's go do that. So first of all, this hyperlink up here, I just highlighted it, copy it. And then go to Facebook. And let me ask, Keith, you've got, I don't know, how many people are there? How many people have ever run an ad on Facebook? 2, okay. So I should probably talk a little bit why you would actually want to do that. And I'm going to show you why in a second. But one thing that you may not be aware of is 71% of adults in the United States are on Facebook, I think for an average of 40 to 50 minutes a day. Only TV, I think, is where people are more than Facebook. Yeah, but you can't afford to be advertising on TV. It's really hard, right? But you can afford to target people by zip code and by city on Facebook for not a lot of money. And that's why I'm pointing this out. So, and that's why we're doing it. And I think it's the ability to target that just blows agents away and allows them to grow their business and to build their brand. Now, this is our public-facing business page. I do have a step-by-step call right here on exactly what we're talking about. It goes in depth on Facebook. So if you feel like it, you can go over there and watch that too. But what you do need to know is you need to have a business page on Facebook, and you only need 25 people to like it. The reach of Facebook is far beyond those 25 people and beyond the personal friends you have on Facebook. And you'll see that right now. So when you have that business page, there will be a little blue page. There's a little blue arrow here. Click that and open up Create Ads. And this kind of whips around and opens up their ads manager. Now, I have a little weird thing here. This message you shouldn't see. I see it because I have an ad blocker on my browser because I don't like looking at ads. But right here it says send people to your website. Click on that. And the first thing it says, what's the campaign name? I'm going to call it Mount Pleasant home value. Okay. You might want to call it, what month is it? June? Do something like that, because here's the thing about any marketing. Doing it one time is not really going to be great for you. Doing it consistently, it really starts to snowball, especially on Facebook. So you're going to want to have some sort of way to look at, okay, what am I doing? These are my ads for home value. These are my ads for open houses. These are my ads for just solds, right? Or just listed. Those are the kinds of things that you want to be able to look at and see what you're getting in terms of reach and things like that. So as I'm saying these things, I am going to give you the details. So from here, just give a campaign name, click continue, and then it starts to show you what's going on. So we've got, let's just sort of remember what we're doing here. We've got a page for home values for Mount Pleasant. So let's go back here and let's type in include. It's going to shoot it all the way out all over the United States, and that's obviously a little too broad. So I'm going to say Mount Pleasant, and what they do is Facebook will say Mount Pleasant plus 25 miles. Okay, I think 25 miles is too far for anything, but sometimes 10 miles is okay. But I want to kind of show you what that does. Now, you probably can't read it, but there are these little towns that are outside of here. And this page isn't relevant to those towns because it only says Mount Pleasant. So I'm going to hit that one more time and say current city only. And that means that the person has to live in Mount Pleasant in order to see this. And since we're talking about homeowners, I don't think there are any 18-year-olds owning homes. So I don't want to have this in front of those people. I'm going to bracket it at 30 years old, right? And so they've got to be at least 30, and they got to live in Mount Pleasant to see that page. That's it. Now you can do, there's something kind of spinning here and it's going slowly, probably because of my ad blocker. There is a way to drive into deeper demographics, and I don't recommend that. Although some of our clients do it, but you're new to this and you can get results from doing just what I'm doing. Bracket the age, get the right location, zip code, things like that. So let's talk about what's going on here. Daily reach. Every day, how many people are going to see this? And it's basically saying, I don't know, about 1,000 on Facebook every day. And that will change in a little bit, but I want you to sort of understand, if you run an ad for 4 days, 4,000 people could see it. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So the other thing to think of is right here, placements. And there's two kinds of ads to run on Facebook. One to get seller leads, which is what we're doing right now, and one to build brand. So let's just say that after this call, you go out and you say, hey, that was awesome. I want to do that. I want to run a landing page to get seller leads. You will get X number of results. If you run the other ads that I'm going to show you in a bit to like build that brand and let everybody know you're a realtor around Mount Pleasant, well, then your same ad for getting seller leads is going to get better lead quality and higher lead volume. So you want to build brand, and you want to also try to go for listing leads. But when you run those two types of ads, this little section right here, placements, there's an important difference. Okay, we're not trying to build brand right now. We are trying to get people to fill that page out. So mobile newsfeed is not a good place to be for this kind of ad. Now, some people prove me wrong. I will point this out. This page and all of our marketing tools are mobile optimized. And some of you have small smartphones and some of you have big ones, and this will work on all of those phones. But it's a 2 to 3 page process, and you flipping and touching things and doing this and that. Is somebody really going to do that on their smartphone? Maybe, but we don't see great results from that. So I want you to kind of remember what I'm saying here is, when you're running a property valuation page where there's multiple pages that they got to fill something out, let's not do that. Instagram, again, I'm not really thinking that's a good place for this kind of ad. Great for building brand, but not for this. Then it says desktop newsfeed and desktop right column. When I turned off, just as an aside, when I turned off mobile, I'll turn it back on here. it automatically turned off Audience Network. What you should know for this particular ad, we don't want mobile. You never want Audience Network. It's not worth. It's just something that they're selling that you don't ever want to do. You also don't want to be on the desktop right column. So what if you don't know what that means, let's go look at that. This center column is the desktop newsfeed. If you're on a smartphone, or if you're like the millions of people that log into Facebook every day, they are looking right here in the center column. Very rarely do they look at the ads that are over here, okay? And that's why you don't want to place that ad in the right column. So we're running a listing lead capture ad. We just want it in the desktop newsfeed. The other big thing, the budget. Change it from daily to lifetime. It isn't lifetime, we're gonna send a closing date. But because we're running a listing, we're trying to get listing leads, I'm gonna recommend that you start with $60. And as soon as I put $60, it gives me a red mark, which means something's wrong, okay? And why that is that they bracket out an ad to go out for a month, and you don't need to run it a month. So I want you to let's click on the start date, and I want to start it on July 1st. The point of this is I recommend, as you're getting started to run ads like this and to try to get more listings, that you run a listing ad on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So on July 1st, that's going to begin. And then you notice it's punching out to July 29th. I'm going to say, no, I want it to end on July 4th. So $60, that's what it's going to do. And what it's telling you over here now is about 500 people a day. Somewhere between 350 and 930 every day is going to see this. Okay, see this ad. And that's it. So here we continue. And I will point this out. You can spend less. You can put $10 a day, right? $30. The minimum is $5 a day. But the less you put in, the less you invest, the fewer clicks. Many people will see it, but they won't be able to click it. And if they can't click it, then they can't fill out that form. And if they don't fill out that form, you're not getting a lead. So you just got to understand how pay-per-click works. That's how it works. I'm going to click continue at this point. And this takes us to where you create the actual ad. And right here, and there's just a couple things to do here, drop this down to your business page. I'm going to do it as listings to leads business group. And just as a reminder, we want to copy this. And right here, it says the website URL. Paste it here. When you paste it there, it gives you this blue button at the bottom. Just click it, it pushes it up, and then it starts kind of doing its magic. I don't know if you can see the little circle on the right, and you can see the image over on the left. It's going to show you what the ad looks like to the consumer on the right, okay? And there's a couple things to think of. This says sponsored by Listings to Leads Mastermind Group, right? For you, it's going to say sponsored by me, the realtor, or whatever your business page is. And that's key to the branding, right? Remember I said that somewhere like 500 to 600 people will see this every day. You want to build that brand, right? And then they're going to see this language here. Find out the value of your Mount Pleasant home now. That's not really compelling. It's just what we put there, and it's just not the best kind of language. So there are a couple of things to think of when you run an ad. And right here at the bottom of the page is where you place the order. And as you remember, this is an ad for 3 days for $60. At the end of the third day, you will get an email from Facebook saying your ad is finished. And here's how many people it reached. And here's how many people clicked on it. And those are the two kind of metrics that you want to start thinking. 1,000 people saw it. 2,000 people saw it. That was a factor of how much money you put in it, right? But how many people clicked is a factor of two things. This picture in the middle and this language above and below. And you can control this language here up top by changing it out right here. And as I mentioned earlier, I wanted you to join our mastermind group. You will see that many of our clients across the country are sharing the words and the language of what they're using when they're writing their ads. And they're saying, I'm getting great results, or I'm not getting good results, or whatever it is. But you can get great ideas from there. I will share with you a couple of ideas. that I think work, and we see time and time again it works. One is click here to get your online automated home value in less than 15 seconds. And you remember that, I kind of used that less than 15 seconds before, right? And it's actually on the page. And there's a reason why this language here works. I'm going to say quick home values. And I don't know if you can see this, but whatever I type in this box is showing up in the underneath the photo. Okay. So when you say, when the line there says click here to get your online automated home value in less than 15 seconds, it tells the consumer a couple things. One, I don't have to talk to you. And two, I can get what I want in 15 seconds. And that's a great way to get people to start clicking, right? And that's the key. So when you look at, if you run this ad the first time and you can see that you've got a few thousand people reaching and nobody's clicking, and the clicks are going to be shown to you by Facebook, well, you kind of done, you haven't got a compelling enough picture, or the language was not strong enough for people to click it. Some other ideas that many agents use time and time again is this home sold for 10% over asking. Click here to get your automated home value now, right? This home sold, it was in contract in 7 days. Click here to get your home value right now. And those are the things that are compelling to a homeowner. If they're thinking about getting home value, those are the kinds of things. So at this point, just sort of, get the right language in there and click place an order, and that's it. And then Facebook will say we're reviewing it, and then it will be live in about 15 minutes, and then it should sort of run over the weekend. Again, we're running a property valuation ad, okay? A lot of people sign up with our company just for that one tool, and they get great results. They do just what I showed you, and that's about it. But our clients who get on our webinars, and then you see our webinars, the recordings are in the system, they do something else. They build their brand with it, and they want more and more business. So they are taking our core tools that are back on the listings page, and they're running ads with that too. So a good page to use is the single property website. We looked at that. It's got some lead capture on the left. They can follow this home. I will get an instant email. They can have links clicking to my property, but this is just listed, right? And if I wanted to say, hey, you know what? I want to do this as an open house, I could do that too. So there's two tools to build brand. Single property website. Yeah. I think it will stay there for 7 days. Yeah, and you can also click Edit Enhance right here and change it to active. You could do something as coming soon if your MLS doesn't mind that. With listings being tight across the country, coming soon is a great way to market. Obviously, we've got just sold and under contract and under deposit, active contingent, things like that. So that's a big part of marketing with our system. Considering that these pages are designed to capture leads all over, you want to get them out over and over again. Okay, so we're going to finish the thought about building the brand on Facebook, and then we're going to look at these tools in depth. Okay, so I'm going to click on, well, I've got it open up here. This is my single property website, and I want to just tell the market it's just listed. So there are a couple of kinds of ads to run that we think to build brand. One is just listed, open house, and just sold. You can do more or you can do less, but those are great things to tell the market, hey, I'm a realtor and I've got a home that's open house. I got a home that just sold. That's, just listed. This is great stuff, because right now when you have a home that's just listed, you put in the MLS and some agent brings a buyer to you, right? Or ideally somebody can, click around Zillow or wherever long enough and actually get to you, right? But in our world, we give you a bunch of tools to push out in high traffic areas, and they capture leads. So the best high traffic area that we feel is Facebook. So how do we get this on Facebook? The easy way is you just click this Facebook button right under your picture right here, and it opens up, right? And you say, hey everyone, right? Great new home. You know, make it conversational, because don't just paste a link out there on Facebook or any social media. And got to spell it correctly. But that's an easy way of doing it, right? And I'll kind of tell you what that does. If you paste it on your friend's page, well, your friends see it. If you paste it on your business page, a small percentage, 0 to 6% of the people that like your business page will see it. And that's a known number given by Facebook, because Facebook does not want to give you organic reach on your business page. They want you to, it is 0 to 6%. Okay. Yeah. Just so you know, that is the number that they tell their investors. So when you have the quarterly calls, you know, for Facebook CEOs to be talking to, you know, the big banks in the world, they're telling everybody you have a 0 to 6% reach organically by putting something on your business page. So a lot of realtors, for instance, like to pay another company. There are many companies that will auto post your listings to your business page. What they don't know is that those, whatever they're paying that company, it still has a 0 to 6% reach. So when we're talking about running an ad, it has incredible reach, right? I showed you one, but we're gonna do another one right now. Okay. Before I run the ad, I want to point out that we recommend the single property website. We also recommend this page over here, the listing landing page. And this takes the front page of the picture of the home and shows it to you like this. So this is a good looking ad. Remember, when you're doing an ad campaign in any industry, you cannot run the same ad over and over. You want to show different looking tools to let the market know, like, I got good looking stuff. Here's something, you know, when you fill this out, this drops you right on this page. You, the agent, gets an email, but the consumers drop right here where they can get all the information. So I'm going to copy this page. This is the ad I want to run. Okay. And let's go. I got to kind of start over. So this is the thing here, right? This is where I just shared this. And it looks like that. And that's in the newsfeed. So you could do that very easily. You saw me do it. And then you could go in and boost it. If it's on your business page, you can boost it. But the stronger way to run any ad is to click here and go to create ads. And let's do it again. I'm going to go a little bit faster than the time we went before, because I don't need to explain in detail everything we did. But we do need to send people to your website. And that home is 212 Fair Oaks. So I'm just going to say 212 Fair just listed, so that I know, like, this is what I've been doing, right? And click continue. So here's where the difference comes. Remember, we were working in Mount Pleasant. So I'm going to type in one more time, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and it's going to punch me out 25 miles. Now, I don't know your area, but I'm going to kind of tell you what I think, and you can say, no, we'd actually want to do this as 25 miles. I usually recommend that you only do a 10-mile radius. But yeah, exactly. Well, it won't show those people. It won't be burning out your money there, because there's nobody, unless somebody happens to be sailing by and they see it and they click, right? Right. So, but you kind of have to think of, I don't know what's 20 miles away, but if you feel like, hey, 20 miles away, I want them to know that we have this home for sale. Well, then just widen it out. That's the point, right? And so you kind of just, you just have to know that that's what it's doing. They have to live in that radius for them to see it. They probably can't be, 18. Maybe they could be 25 to afford a home there. And it starts to show you over here your reach, right? And it's saying, here's your Facebook reach and here's your Instagram reach. So here's the difference. Remember, I told you this is the one place where it starts to make a difference. You definitely, when you're building brand, use mobile. People are on mobile all the time. Instagram, yes. It's a big mobile photo, it's a photo social media platform, and real estate just lends itself to photography, obviously. So build a network there. Audience network, I said it earlier, never use that. Yes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I don't really know the answer there, but I think you do. Instagram is now owned by Facebook. Um, so I'm sure they would have the connection. So I think it's got to be there. Yeah. So desktop newsfeed is that middle column, and definitely you want it always there. Desktop right column, you never want that. Okay. So the main difference in placement is we want it on mobile, definitely, right? You don't have to have it on Instagram, but I think why not? It's not gonna, it's just a good place to be. Now, the budget here is 20 bucks. Again, change it to lifetime and change it back to 20 bucks. Okay. And here's the key. It is giving me the red mark because I'm punched out way too far, right? You might want to do this for 5 or 6 days, but what you don't want to do is run an ad for 30 days because it just loses its potency. So take the end and say, I'm going to start it today. So I want it to end in July. Let's see if that works. It doesn't because it's not. Yeah, now it went away. So here's the point. I want to run that for 4 days. Now here, the reach is really dropping. It's really like a couple hundred people, 250. But 1,000 people will see this. You've got kind of a smaller population there, and that's why that number is pretty low. So, but 1,000 people will see it on Facebook, and probably another 1,000 on Instagram for 20 bucks. Okay, and that's great because this is what they're going to see. I'm going to click continue, and I copied that page. I'm going to change my business page to being where it's going to be. It says website URL. I'm going to paste in the landing page for that listing. And here, we'll give it a second. This is where it's kind of showing just listed mount, and that's because there's a fixed number of characters. I'm just going to change that to just listed. That's what's showing up underneath. This get the current price and details, again, that's not strong language, okay? There is something unique about the homes you're selling, right? Probably the neighborhood, maybe the kitchens and the upgrades. Make that, put that in this box, right? Whatever is hot about this house, maybe it's the schools, put it in here and it will show up above the picture, right? And also under here, it says show advanced options. You can put a lot of characters, like almost 200 characters in here. So you might want to take some of your property description and put it there, right? Whatever you put here will show under just listed. And that's kind of key. So it's going to show a big, beautiful picture. It's going to have your brand here, and then whatever language you put here and here. And then you just click place the order, and boom, that's it. When people see this, they're going to see it in their newsfeed, and they're going to have the ability to click and open it up and kind of do that. Does that make sense how we've run ads there? Any questions? Okay. Okay. So I will tell you this. For people that want to grow their business, there are a lot of ways in real estate to spend money. You can invest it in Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com and all kinds of other platforms, right? Our clients, yeah. 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 Yes. Yeah. So if you don't have listings, certainly, we've got clients that borrow them from other agents in their office, even other agents from other offices. And if it's active on Trulia, you can use the grab active listing button. But let's just say it's a pocket listing or a FSBO. You can click this button up here that says create new listing. And totally. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It says coming soon right here, right? And so you can do that kind of thing right here. And we're not like the MLS. We just, we require just a few fields. Add a photograph and you're kind of good to go there. Does that make sense? Yep. Yeah, it's going to have all the same tools are going to get created, and then you can sort of run the ads from there. Yes. Okay, so on your profile for the office, there's a section down here that you connect your YouTube channel right there. And you check this button right here, and that auto generates it and sends it to that channel. So let's see here what's going on. Yeah, so let me explain how that works. And this is a little bit techie, so not everybody's going to like this part of the discussion. Give me 1 second. I see. 3D. It's not saving that because I have some stuff there. So what we're talking about is a virtual tour. So I'm going to kind of answer, you've got kind of multiple questions in there. So how do we embed that? Click the virtual tour button here. And it says import property video. Now, even though you're getting a link from Matterport, you also get embed code. And you want to click this button here and paste that code here. Then it pops it in where you want it. Okay, that's one piece. The other piece is you want it on YouTube, right? Now, does Matterport auto post it to YouTube for you? Okay, so you can click this button here and post it up to YouTube. But I'll tell you a little bit about that. I don't know how Matterport's going to work on YouTube because, it's kind of a 3D, you can drive through it, right? I don't think YouTube is going to have that kind of functionality available on that platform. So what should happen, or what I imagine is going to happen, is the listing is going to come in automatically with the photos, and we're going to stitch together a virtual tour, and we're going to push that up to YouTube. But we will embed, you'll come in, let's say that day, and you'll embed the Matterport tour here, and then it will be embedded in all of our tools, our core tools, so that people sitting on a computer can drive around that. Sure. Mm-hmm. If you have Gmail, then just sort of click through to YouTube, log into your Gmail account, and make sure you've got a YouTube channel. And then all you do is click this button here, and it says which account do you want, and then you click here. Let's see, and it says, do you want to? And so it's just asking me which account, but you're going to basically grant access to one of your accounts to upload to. Yeah, once that's done, in the future, it should automatically do it. But let's say you've got a few listings in here today, and then you connect your YouTube account tomorrow. Well, it won't automatically go. So what you do is you click the YouTube button here, And then over here it says click icons below to upload. You click YouTube here, and it says your account is not associated, and that's because I don't have one associated. But you just click generate YouTube, and it'll push it up. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. Yes. Correct. And yes, and buyer leads. So that's right. There's a lot here. Now, I'm showing you an email that I'm going to send you after the call. Okay, and I want I want you all to hold on to this because it covers what to do with your listings. And there's a couple of things I'm going to explain what is in here. There's a Vimeo video that covers all the tools, and this is about 3 weeks old. So there's a lot of tools. Many of them I'm not going to mention on this call because your head's going to be spinning of hearing of everything, right? Then there's a tutorial that says getting started, and it shows you what to do with your listings. Okay. Then it says here's something on Facebook lead generation, and that's it, right? There's a video on Facebook, which we've kind of run 2 ads, so you should sort of kind of understand that. But now what do we do with our listings? So I'm going to read through this, and I'm going to show you those core tools. The first thing it says is choose the right lead generation links to your website, share your single property website in Facebook and all the other stuff, put your branded virtual tour on Zillow and Trulia, get your auto-generated e-flyer and Facebook ads to your client, call them to make sure that they forward and post the tools. That's really all you need to do. This section right here, when you have a listing, do these 4 things. You could certainly put it on Craigslist too, right? But we're going to get it to YouTube automatically, and we're going to put it on WordPress automatically, okay? So let's talk about what that is right there. And like I said, I'm going to send this to you. The first thing it says is let's, put the right lead generation links on the property. So click this button here to access it. And I'm going to click sync with account links. Let's see what we got here. Something weird with this one. Agent desktop, links and landing, lead links and logo. So here are my 2 links. And I also want to always have free home values checked down here. And I'm in a section called lead links and logos. Include for all means it becomes a default for everything. So let's go here. Next. So now when I, and that's why I didn't put the banner and logo here. So if I go back to listings and I click this button, it's going to show me all my links, right? So I definitely want Search All Homes. I definitely want Mount Pleasant Homes and Mount Pleasant Homes under 500 grand. If there's a price point that's meaningful in your market, then by all means use it like this. And then free home values. And if there's an adjacent town, if I'm looking at a home in Mount Pleasant, would I look in Charleston? I don't know, but you're going to know that, right? And then just click save. And then put search all homes, kind of in this order, free home values at the bottom, save and close. So that was the first thing on my email, right? Where is it? It said, get started. It says, choose the right lead generation links. The next thing it says is share the single property website to Facebook, Pinterest, etc. So let's do that. Let's see what in the world we're talking about there. Where is that? So we've chosen the right links. Just in case you don't know, let's refresh it. These are the links we just created, right? Mount Pleasant Homes under 500K, search all homes and free home values. So your share buttons are right here. And just so you know, Facebook is the #1 place for lead capture in all of real estate or all of online advertising. Number 2 is Pinterest. It's very easy to create that. And all you got to do is click the Pinterest thing. Again, it is a what do you call it? It is a photographic based kind of page, so it really makes sense to kind of build that, because what we're doing here is we're doing it very simply. I'm going to click this one, right? And it's showing me what I can do, and then I'm going to say I'm going to put it on my Great Homes board, and that's it, right? And so as people who see that, and you might want to have Great Charleston Homes, right, or Great Mount Pleasant Homes, or whatever it is like that, that people start to recognize what you got going. Facebook, I did that earlier. Typically, Twitter and Google and LinkedIn are not huge places for lead generation, but we do have people getting leads from LinkedIn. And so if you click LinkedIn, and as you may know, this is a professional networking place, and it shows you what it's going to look like, right? And it's just like, whatever you do, write a social note. You're communicating and building networks with professionals in this platform in your areas. So I recommend it, because one of our clients has been on there, and then somebody else said, hey, it's working for me too. So just click there to share. Okay. Back on my email. Did you have any questions there, guys? Okay. So the next thing is put your branded virtual tour on Zillow and Trulia. And you see your virtual tour here by clicking the virtual tour button, and then clicking here and just copy this virtual tour. Just so you know, I'll click on opening the virtual tour. It has all those same lead generation properties that we, that we keep talking about, lead generation links and stuff like that. So that's there. If you don't know how to edit your listing on Zillow and Trulia, to drop this in, the instructions are right under these two green buttons here. And to put it on both of those sites, probably take you about 1 minute. Okay, so it's not a huge time sink. But if people see your property on Zillow and Trulia, and they're remotely interested in it, they will most likely click on that virtual tour, and then that's got a bunch of lead capture for you. So the next thing here, it says, get your auto-generated e-flyer and Facebook ads to your client. Call them to make sure they forward the post, or forward the email, and use the post. So what am I talking about there? Over here, and we have, what we want to do is, not only do we want to generate leads, but we want our clients to get referrals, right? Because referrals are just a great way to grow your business. So we have an email campaign and a Facebook campaign for your listing to just keep talking about your listing. So let's click on the e-flyer button here and see what we're talking about. The first thing that should come out to you automatically is this seller engagement email. You can click here to view it. This is going to show up in your mailbox with links on top that say, here's your virtual tour, here's all these marketing tools. And then you can take this and forward it to your client. It's got a few images of their home, and it's kind of wordy, so I'm not going to read it all for you. But it's basically saying, hey, we're mobile optimized, we're up on the web, here's some links, we're ready for Facebook, we got email tools for you, we got Craigslist for you, right? And your picture will be down here, your logo will be down here, and that's basically how that's meant to work. And we do this because we want your client to, one, obviously be impressed by all the work you're doing, but two, to be ready for the email marketing that's coming. And at the very same time that you get this seller engagement email, you get this just listed flyer, right? And you get a just listed ad. And notice, so flyers, e-flyers are usually not exciting for realtors. They're not that interested in hearing about it. But here's the difference of our flyers compared to every company in the space in real estate marketing. It has lead capture links built into it, and it says right up top, this is designed to get viral to your clients, friends, and family. Here it says, we've hired Vincent, agent at King and Society Real Estate, to sell our home. He's created this and other tools to market our home. Please forward it to as many people as you can. So this tool shows up in your email automatically. You're meant to forward it to your client and call them and say, I just sent you an e-flyer and a Facebook ad. If you could forward on that flyer and do that over there on Facebook, that would be awesome, because I got all kinds of stuff going on and we want to get the highest price as fast as possible, right? Again, That's because this is pre-written to certainly market the home and to get buyers, but also to get people who are interested, who might look at it and say, oh, there's a link for a free home value, right? Maybe I want to find out my home value there. And just to and to let your clients, friends, and family and colleagues know that you're actually a realtor and that they're working with you. So there is a just listed flyer, there's an open house flyer, there's a pending or active contingent, there's just sold, there's even price reduced. Okay. There are print flyers down here. And every time you get one of these flyers, you also get a Facebook ad. And so you'll get it at the exact same time. And I'm going to show you, and normally, you know, these tools, a lot of times these tools just show up in your mailbox and you don't know what to do with them. You know, you're just like, oh, I don't know what that is and I don't want to do it. But when realtors finally, like when it finally clicks, it's when the property is sold. And here's why. I'm going to click here to edit, and I'm going to change it from just listed to just sold. Okay. And so if you can imagine that your clients, friends, and family and colleagues have been getting things from just listed to open house, and maybe here's a virtual tour, and now we're under contract and Vince is still working. But then it ends up as just sold. And you take this just sold website here, and you can click send. It's already, I don't know if you can see it, I got 2 emails in my mailbox just now, which are the marketing tools that automatically come to you as soon as you change the status. But I want to click on view, and you can see what's going to be in my mailbox. There's some language up here for you, and you should edit it and give it to your client. But the real gist of it is, grab this, get your client to copy this information and go to their Facebook wall, right? And paste it on their wall. And you'll see why in just a second here. Let's see here. So when they paste it on their wall, who's going to see it? All their friends, right? And let's see here, paste. So we'll give it a second. There should be a picture, but let's click post. Hopefully that picture pops up. Yeah, it looks like this. Our home just sold, and we want to recommend Vincent Meza, and blah, blah, blah. Here's his name and phone number, okay? That is the point. That's really the point, is we want all of your clients, if you're selling a home for somebody and they're on Facebook, let those folks, all their friends and family, they're all communicating, they're looking at pictures of everybody's relatives and their grandkids and all this and that. Let them know they're working with you. So in the end, it says, hey, they sold their house and they did an excellent job, and here's his name and phone number. That is the point of that. Yeah, that's about it. There's a lot. Yeah, definitely. I want to point out one cool tool, and then I want to point out where you get help really quickly, okay? Over here on the listings page is a listing website. And you can click on this. Everybody has one in their own account, and you have one at the office account. This will have every listing in your system, in your account. And when I mentioned earlier, there was a call on Neil Wolf. When you log in, you'll see Neil Wolf. And I said, he's doing something on Craigslist. He is taking this page. He's got a bunch of cool lead capture here on the left, and he's putting it up on Craigslist. And he's getting hundreds of leads every month from just putting it on Craigslist. So if you log in, you will see the Neil Wolf call, and he will show you what he's doing. I'm going to show you what his page looks like right now. This is because that page, you know, I just started that account just a few minutes ago. He's got about 20 listings in his account. He's borrowed many of them. Some are rentals, some are for sale. And he's got all these lead generation links here. And you can see, you know, lease purchase option. He just builds squeeze pages here to get people integrated and to get them to fill things out, and he captures leads. So I wanted to make sure that you're aware that that account, that tool is available to all of you on the listing website right here. There's a client review website here as well if you have. And then contact support is up here on the right. And everybody is watching this. I know a lot of people get excited about there's some sort of chat panel somewhere, Zopum. I don't recommend it. If you have a question, everybody watches this support email here. So we've got 3 dedicated support people. Scott watches this, my partner. They kick it up to me when there's some really hairy problem. But this is where everybody is looking at right in the middle here. So if you have a question, that's a great place to go. Okay. And that's about it. I'm going to put this tutorial, this webinar up online, and I'm going to send it to you in this email so that you can, right? So you have it as a resource. Oh, good. Great. Thanks everybody for listening to me go on like that. Have a good day. I will get this information to you shortly.